listeners out there. It's a new week. Let's get it in.
And
Right.
good morning, YouTube.
Yes, we're streaming live on YouTube. It's Smooth 981 FM Lagos. In fact, you can send messages to us during the course of the conversation. WhatsApp is 0809 4440981. And on Twitter, Smooth 981 FM. Today, we take the conversation a notch higher. It's a different conversation
We're
from
going to
the
the
stock
movies,
markets, right?
Yeah. So we're now going to be looking at the business angle of the new movie in town, The Woman King. It came out in the cinemas last Friday, on Friday. So
Yeah, this Friday. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So how
yeah,
exactly are we going to approach this now? I'm very excited.
Yeah. So the thing is that you can look at it as invest money that's coming into a particular country. It was shot in South Africa, right? And but before I even get to South Africa, why the movie has to do well for Nollywood. Viola Davis sent out, that's the star of the movie. She's an Academy Award winner. She sent out a tweet. I was looking for it so I could send it to you guys. But she was saying that if people don't support this film, she was saying it at the Toronto Film Festival when it was premiered there, that if people don't support this film, you will not see another, Black woman, headlining an action film like this again, and that it has to be supported. From the Nollywood
You want me
side,
to read the tweet?
Yeah, okay, you have it,
I've
yeah?
got the tweet. Yeah.
Okay.
So she said, like I said at the TIFF Festival, if you don't plop down money on opening weekend, you're not going to see Black females leading a movie again. So please continue supporting The Woman King, now playing exclusively in theaters.
Right. So the movie cost about $50 million. It was shot in South Africa, in KwaZulu-Natal, and also Cape Town. And I think it made 19 million over the weekend at the US box office. So it's number one. And I'm not sure how much it has made internationally, but at least it's on its way to. But $50 million.
Those are pretty low numbers, though.
Yeah, but it's
the US
enough to
box
top
office.
Well, it's enough. Weekend. It could pick up.
I've seen big opening weekends. But okay, yeah, sorry.
So that's the thing. So that's a good point to raise. This is not Viola Davis is not she's not Tom Cruise, right? She's not a big box office person that puts, as they say, butts in seats, right? So she's more of like a method actor. The movie that she won an Oscar for was Fences with Denzel Washington, 2017. Yeah. So the thing is, this had to be supported by Black folk, by people of color, by Africans, right? And if you see the film, you can see the commercial viability of African culture in the movie. I've seen it twice. I saw it on Friday. I saw it yesterday again, right? And the part about supporting it, Jimmy Odukoya is in this film. There's one other person from Nollywood that is in there, and this is, I'm struggling to remember the last time a Nollywood actor had a feature role in a big budget Hollywood movie. So he plays Oba, he's the leader of the Oyo Kingdom, and they are rivals to the Dahomey, where Viola Davis and her soldiers, the Igoje soldiers, protect. There's a lot of talk about trade in this movie, about palm oil, about commodities that are supposed to be making nations wealthy. And it's loosely based on true events, right, from 17th, 18th century Africa. But the point is that if this film does well, and I think making 19 million over the weekend, by next weekend, even with a 50% drop, it should do about 30 million or so. It should be on its way to being profitable. But it's $50 million before marketing and promotion. So I'm assuming if they spent another 30 or 40 million on marketing and promotion, this movie probably has to make about 80 or 90 million in total to be profitable. So if you do that, the director of the movie says that there are thousands of other African stories that need to be told. And if this does well, you will see more Nollywood stars being picked to star in movies like this, because Odukoya did really well. He was the main villain in the film, and he did really well. And so this is a Nollywood guy getting a really big feature. So there's that, why it has to be successful. The other point is investment flows into South Africa. It was shot primarily, as I said, in KwaZulu-Natal and Cape. South Africa is Tom Cruise is shooting his Mission Impossible film in South Africa, right? He was
Wow.
spotted back in April, March. So one is the rand, and this is the thing. Everybody, for a Nigerian, when you think about your currency and you think about how weak it is, we always think it's a bad thing. But for South Africa, the fact that the rand is weak against the dollar, it is attractive for an American coming to shoot a movie there because your budget costs, your costs are lower. So you can imagine a Cape Town or a Johannesburg that looks as nice as California, or looks as nice as any other US states, and has the infrastructure for movies and has the expertise and being able to shoot for much less than you were shooting if you're still in California. So that's
now
one.
look like looking even at Morocco, for example, they make a lot of money from film
Right.
shooting there because they're set up for it, and so there are a number of films that you wouldn't expect that were actually shot in Morocco, and so
Right.
things like that, right? Nigeria, our country is filled to the brim with beautiful vistas, you know, fantastic for like a Lion King remake of the remake, you know,
Exactly.
good stuff like that. However, I'm not sure we can get there quite there. No.
So the thing is the expertise. Another reason why South Africa attracts so much investment from Hollywood is tax rebates. The government gives discounts to companies that use Black talents and production talents in there. They give, like, I think the cap is 50 million rand or so, but you can get a 15 to 25% discount shooting your movies there if you use qualified sound production and their talent that is there. So they have the info. Now, remember, Nigerian artists and filmmakers go to South Africa to shoot movies. The rand is stronger than the naira, so they are paying more money to go there and to shoot, but they do it because the infrastructure is there and the expertise is there. And I mean, so South Africa is the most industrialized African nation on the continent, right? In terms of how developed they are. So we can, thank you for mentioning Nigeria, that's where I was going. We should be able to rival a South Africa or rival a Morocco for them to, I mean, we've got the scenery, they've got the good weather, we've got good weather as well. We can give them tax rebates, but the infrastructure, another thing is safety. I remember when Tom Cruise was seen in KwaZulu-Natal shooting Mission Impossible, the local community there the tourism board put out a quick press release saying that Tom Cruise is here, this validates how attractive we are. And they also talked about safety. They take their tourists very seriously in South Africa because of the money that they bring in. We were sponsoring one South Africa tourism thing. I thought it was a year or 2 years ago on our show. The tourism board was here again in Nigeria about 3 weeks ago, promoting South African tourism. Do you know any Nigerian tourism board that is in any country promoting Nigerian tourism? So there's a lot to be said.
If our president doesn't tell people how bad the country is, thank you.
Exactly, right? So there's that attractiveness. You can think about it as a competition for capital, whether it's your stock market or any other investment vehicle. The attractiveness of the environment, the infrastructure, the equity. They have lights, they have power. You can go there and shoot your movie. You can edit it forever. I mean, I think some of them, they take the film back to the US and they edit it, but sometimes you can stay there and edit in the studios and finish what you're doing.
But what can the next president of Nigeria do to support Nollywood? Because across the globe, we're the third largest, I think, after Hollywood, Bollywood. We have to come in their top 5 at least. What can we do to also tap into, this global share at the moment?
Yeah, so you see, Dan, thank you for mentioning that. We keep talking about how big we are in terms of volume of movies that we make, but how many quality movies do we make as an industry? So, South Africa doesn't really come up when it comes to their film industry, but Avengers: Age of Ultron, The Kissing Booth, what was this Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds movie? I think Safe House. I can list so many movies that are shot there, big budget Hollywood movies. And again, Cruise is there right now. So for Nigeria to compete, it comes down to infrastructure again. You must improve your infrastructure. South Africa had riots, they've had floods, Their economy is struggling like our own. They've got racism issues there. They've got poverty. They have some of the, in fact, South Africa's unemployment rivals Nigeria. It's just that we're about 33%, right? All the problems that South Africa has, the fact that they have infrastructure and they are industrialized means that dollars still flow into that country to film these movies. So the next president, any president that is looking at this woman king now, and I just paid attention. I just was like, look, how many Nollywood people are here? How much money is going? I didn't know it was shot entirely in South Africa. I thought it was shot in other locations. So these are the things.
Question though, and then I'll read out Benga Kamu's messages. So my quick question is but we've seen international streaming platforms really start to focus on Nigeria. I mean, just driving across the bridge close by my place, I can't get away from the billboard posters about Jack buying to a certain platform, streaming platform. And they've inked deals as well with some of our movie makers and series makers as well. What would you say about that in this whole conversation?
So if you notice, The Woman King was released exclusively in theaters. It was not released on a streaming platform. I saw it in a 4DX theater, those theaters where the chairs shake whenever. And there was lots of fighting and action. So if somebody gets punched or get hit, you feel it. The chairs move. So the theatrical experience cannot be replicated at home unless you want to spend how many hundreds of thousands of dollars getting yourself a 4DX seat. And it just the Nigerians I saw it with, the whole feeling of African pride, the way everybody was screaming, the way everybody was, you can't replicate that. Plus you make more money from theatrical releases and from the fact that you can pull, again, South Africa is pulling dollars to film the movies there. For the streaming folks, yes, it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing they're making the deals, but they're not exactly being filmed here to the level of which you see the big budget Hollywood movies being. If I had to pick between whether I want a Hollywood film, studio production, where Tom Cruise is flying into Lagos to shoot a film versus a deal between Netflix or Amazon Prime and one or two Nollywood people, I'm picking Tom Cruise coming to Lagos because you can just imagine what that brings to the city. So the streaming stuff is good, Shokwe. It is very good news that we are creative. We've got talent and all that is good. But when you talk about money, dollars flying into your country, using your hotels, employing local staff, Nigerians to be extras, using Nigerian studios to edit, you cannot beat that kind of money coming in.
Messages.
All right.
Okay, Ogenochuka says movie production is possible in Nigeria if the Nigerian government can look beyond oil. And Zen has come in with one that I immediately went to when we're talking about infrastructure. This, he says, what can be done to support Nollywood, etc.? Revive Tinapa and infrastructure.
They had a massive studio there.
Yeah.
Right.
He also says a link with scenery and landscapes we have in all parts of the country. Maybe get a female president as well. Vote out the top two current parties. And yes, Zen, in answer to your question, the answer is yes. Who else do we have?
Omolabake is saying, Shokwe, the answer to your question is consumerism. We are a consumer-based economy. They are collecting our money and not bringing in money, I believe. And then Benga Komu is saying that ask Nollywood producers the hell area boys show them when they go to a location.
That's a good...
Rotus light and power has improved in Nigeria too. Then talking about waivers and rebates, didn't the federal government give Dangote and others over 16 trillion naira in tax waivers and co? Now, there's some pointers here. Light has improved, perhaps because we're in the rainy season again. Kainji Dam has a lot of
exactly.
How quickly we forget every single rainy season. There's a reason light improves.
Yes, exactly.
Come to the end of the show for today. Thank you so much, Rotus. I wish you had so much time to talk about this.
Thank you. But
we'll do this again tomorrow at 6:30. Let's keep the conversation going on Twitter. Also asking the government to revive Tinapa and the infrastructures. They cannot lie fallow. All right. It's Rotan Quote on Twitter and Smooth 981 FM on Twitter. Let's keep this conversation going and go